What's up guys, it's OSS here with iPhone Hacks, and I'm going to be showing you all the hidden features and standard features of iOS 9.3. So first up is probably the most popular feature, and that's night shift. If we go to settings right here, and we scroll down to display and brightness, you'll see night shift, which is a new option that pretty much dims your screen depending on what time of day it is. So as you can see here, between the hours of 10 and 7, my night shift turns on. You can of course change this if you really want to. Manual enable it, change the warmth, which is basically how low or the lighting on your, how warm technically the lighting on your screen is when night shift is enabled. I like it the most warm, so I always leave it there. And they also added the new night shift toggle, which you see right here in the center. That little sun/moon, you would just tap on that to enable night shift. As you can see right there, it says what time it's on, and then you can tap it again to turn it off. It'll say off until whatever time you actually have it scheduled. So that's it. It's just a toggle that turns it on and off. If you really want to actually adjust anything, you'd have to of course jump into the settings app and do that yourself in the display and brightness section. So that's night shift for you guys. Next up we have Wi-Fi assist. So this was introduced in iOS 9, and with 9.3 they added a usage data section, because before users were complaining about getting extremely high data bills and they didn't know why. It's because they had Wi-Fi assist enabled and they didn't know how much usage that was taking. So if you go into that section, you scroll all the way to the bottom, we went to settings, cellular, you'll see Wi-Fi assist right here. And then small down there, you'll see the amount that I've used of my data with Wi-Fi Assist. So of course, Wi-Fi Assist, if enabled, automatically turns on the cellular data usage if your Wi-Fi connectivity is super bad, basically. So for people that have dead zones in their house, they might have enabled Wi-Fi Assist thinking that they were covered by their Wi-Fi, when actually they were using cellular data in their own home. So that's why this little addition of the usage data is very important for people that are trying to track what data they're using. So there you go, that's Wi-Fi Assist in iOS 9.3. Next up, we have password protected notes. Now a lot of people are like, well that's dumb, why would you need that? I use notes all the time for work, and there are passwords in there, financial information, whatever. So if you want to actually password protect particular notes, you can do so now. So if you go into settings and you scroll down to notes, here where you see password, you can use Touch ID, and then I've already set a password, but you would hit here, enter in your old password, your new password, whatever have you, and then you now have passwords enabled. So you can go into a note. You can't password protect the app, but just a note in particular. So you go into a note, you'll select that note. Let's go into this. We'll hit the share sheet right there, and you see where it says lock note. We're going to tap on, of course, lock note. I'll enter my password like so, and then that note will be locked. And anyone who wants to unlock it would either have to have my Touch ID or the password. So that's really it. And you can see lock notes by this little icon right there. If you're looking at this one, this note is locked. If I hit view note, it says enter password or use Touch ID. So that's how the lock notes work for iOS 9.3. And the news app also got a few touch-ups. Nothing super major, but just a few touch-ups. So if we pop into the news app, which is actually one of my favorite apps on the iOS, is you can view videos within the player. So previously it would jump out to a different window, but now if I just hit play right here,
freezing rain,
it'll play the video within the frame, which is super helpful, and it just makes the app look a lot cleaner. So that's one addition. And then there's also the addition of gestures. So if I click on the story about Obama, and let's go here. You can dislike it, mute it, report it, and then if you swipe to the left, you can like, save, share. So if I just hit share, that'll bring up the share sheet. If I hit save, you'll see that now it has the save toggle, which means I can come back to it anytime by clicking on the save tab. And there it is right there, right up top. So those gestures just make it a lot faster to move throughout the the News app and save and do whatever you like without having to jump in, get the share sheet, and then do the exact same thing that I just did. So gestures and inline videos are the major additions to the News app in 9.3. Next up, we have iCloud Sync for iBooks. This is an app that I don't really use that often, but for those of you who do, you can now iCloud Sync more than just iBooks. You can actually do PDFs and other items in the iBooks section, and that'll be saved, of course, on multiple devices. So if I click on my iBooks, you'll see that I don't have anything here. But for those of you who do have PDFs that you save or whatever have you, you can actually save those now across devices using iCloud for iBooks. Next up, we have new quick actions. So there were some stock apps that didn't have the 3D Touch quick actions for the 6S and 6S Plus. Those have now been added. So that would be the Settings app, Weather app, let me see where I am, stocks, and so on and so forth. You can, of course, check, and most of the apps now actually do have the 3D Touch, so that's just a simple addition, but definitely a handy one for iOS 9.3. Live Photos was also one of the most popular additions when iOS 9 was announced. And with Live Photos, you could, of course, take a live photo and save it and send it to your friends. But that live photo would actually take up some more size than you would think. So if I just took one right now, just because, and I can save that, that video is a little bit larger than a lot of people would like when they were trying to send it. So if I just took one right now, just because. So with the new addition to Live Photos, I can actually make a duplicate that isn't a live photo without having to change the current live photo to a non-live photo. So if that was a lot of words, here's what I'm saying. Click on the share sheet right here where it says duplicate in the middle. I'll hit duplicate, and then it says duplicate as a still photo. So this means, obviously, that I'll have a still photo instead of a live photo. And so here's my live photo. So if I just took one right now, and then here is my still photo. So I'm pressing on the screen, and of course nothing's happening. So I can send that off. It'll decrease the amount of size that the live photo was, and it won't have the live photo shenanigans. Thus, I have both if I want to send the live photo to somebody who has a 6S Plus or 6S, and I can send the still image to whoever doesn't have that or want to use it. And so that's that. Next up is the Health app, and basically they just made it a little bit more intuitive because a lot of people were asking, well, I open up the Health app and there's nothing there. So here, now, it shows you a list of apps that you can use right here. You can see that in the bottom for the different sections that they have. So if we go to, get out of the health data, let's go to fitness, let's do active energy or whatever, you'll see that they now have a bunch of options for apps that you can download that will work with the Health app and input all your data and stuff like that. So now, if you have 17 different apps that are all doing health-related issues, you can now have all that data within the Health app and know where it came from. So that's basically the gist of the new updates for the Health app. And of course, there are quick actions for that as well. There are, of course, a lot more additions that we could go more in depth into, like CarPlay, which has been updated and now can integrate Apple Music much easier with the For You section. Of course, I'm not in my car, nor do I have a car that has CarPlay, so I can't really show you that. They've also updated the Apple Education apps, which makes it super convenient for teachers to track their students and what books they're reading and to lock their devices and share devices throughout the classroom. So that's definitely an area of focus for Apple that a lot of people were not really aware of. Other additions are Siri has more support for different languages like Finnish and Hebrew. As you can see here, there's Hebrew, there's Finnish. She has actually just a lot of languages, so there are complaints that Siri wasn't able to support more languages, and now they've added some more. Also, with iOS 9.3, you can pair multiple watches that are on Watch OS 2.2 or above. So if you have 9.3 and a couple Apple Watches with OS 2.2, you can now pair those to your iPhone much easier. Another addition is Apple Pay app support. So basically, while you're using Apple Pay there will be a small icon associated with whatever card or pass that you have where you can open up or find that app. So you see here's an old Delta flight, and in the very bottom left corner you'll see that they have the Delta app icon. So if I tap on that, it'll take me to either the App Store because I do not have the app, or open up the app if I do have it on my device. So that's just a better integration of the cards that you have and the apps that you have working together to kind of make it a nice cohesive little experience. So there you have it. Those are the basic hidden features and supported features of iOS 9.3.